Hello, I'm Rachel from Douentza Garden in Ireland, and you are very welcome to this garden tour video. Now today I'm down in County Limerick with Siobhan, who's going to show me around her fantastic colour coordinated garden, which unfortunately we've a bit of rain here today, but I think it makes the flowers pop just a bit more. And Siobhan, will you show us around?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Delighted to.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get on with the garden tour. Today is the 21st of August and we're visiting the award-winning O'Mahony Garden. Created by Mossy and Siobhan O'Mahony, this ornamental garden is 1.5 acres in size, that's 6,070 square metres, and it's located on the Cork-Limerick border in Southern Ireland, where it overlooks the Galtee Mountains. Siobhan is the plants person, and today, as we look around this gorgeous garden, she'll be sharing some of her tips for choosing perennials and colour coordinating flower borders to perfection. What's your doggie's name,
Oh,
Siobhan?
Poppy. It's Poppy.
Will she let me lift her up now? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You come here.
Come on, Poppy.
Okay, well, I hold on to your doggie then, Siobhan. Let's hear a little bit about the garden and how you started.
Okay. Well, we're gardening here about 35 years.
Okay.
We started with the front garden, the original garden. We started by putting in the hedging and the trees really for shelter. And then we just started planting borders after that. After that, then we started with our circular garden outside the kitchen door. So in the garden, I wanted lots of colour because we're looking out, we're looking out our kitchen window. So I wanted colour all year round. So there I went for I wanted strong colours there, the oranges, the reds, the yellows. Right. And then garden is here about 5 years. As I said, it was the football pitch and the garden took over. It was never meant to be a garden.
All right. Well, for somewhere that was never meant to be a garden, it's a fantastic garden.
And it's probably one of my favourite areas now.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Wonderful.
So our newest project then is the woodland. I always loved woodland plants. I didn't really have a place to plant them. So we planted the woodland in April by putting in 28 birch trees.
Wow.
And underplanting then. So I've put in a lot of plants already, but I'm looking forward now to next spring putting in more.
Okay, all right, wonderful. Siobhan, I believe you have fantastic wildflower meadow as well. So tell me a little bit about that.
We had a small little wildflower patch last year as a trial and really loved the colours, the poppies, the meadow plants. So this year then we decided that we'd go bigger. Now we made the mistake really of taking off too much soil from the top. The ground is really, really poor. So I think for next year we'll probably have to bring in 3 or 4 more inches of topsoil, because where there is soil, it looks really luscious, whereas some of it is quite sparse this year.
Well, you say mistake, but I don't see any mistakes at all when I look at your fantastic wildflower meadow. It's just so joyous. And do you find that when you look at something like that, it just makes your heart sing?
Oh, absolutely. It's lovely to go out there in the morning, early in the morning, looking onto the Galtees with a cup of tea and just taking a break for 10 minutes.
I think your little doggie wanted to go back to you. She was shaking a bit.
She's probably cold.
Yeah, it's a bit cold. So tell me, who takes care of the garden here?
Well, the work is quite divided. Mossy looks after all the hard landscaping and he's responsible for hedges and edges.
Okay.
And I'm the plants person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is Mossy an enthusiastic hedger and edger and gardener?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And he's taken more interest in the last few years.
Okay, so I guess if we go and take a look around the garden, because one thing that Siobhan hasn't mentioned is the fact that she is a gardening instructor, a course leader, and does wonderful courses here at her property here at the O'Mahony Garden. And if I was a bit closer, I would definitely be coming along to your summer workshop, or the workshop for setting up containers this summer. But let's go and see some more. Oh my goodness, Siobhan, it is just fantastic over here. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous border.
Well, this originally was the boys' football pitch up until about 4 or 5 years ago.
No way.
It was never meant to be a garden, really. You can see here the lime trees are in, and they're sucking up all the moisture from underneath, so it's quite difficult to garden underneath that area.
Right.
So about 5 years ago, I put in one bed here. We started by just putting in this bed. The goalposts were still in situ. So as the goalposts disappeared, we planted the bottom border and then the side borders, the peach border and the white border.
And why peach and why white?
Well, I wanted different colour schemes. We'd started with the pinks and blues, and I buy my plants like I buy my clothes. I pick up a plant and I walk around the garden centre and find another plant to match. So I started with the pinks and blues, and then I wanted something different at the other side. I didn't want all the garden to look the same, because I do like all the different colours. So I wanted a peach and a wine border, and behind that then we put in the white border. So in here at the minute we have lots of roses, dahlias, and there's salvia, and there's some fillers then like the Achillea Apricot Delight. I particularly like this particular dahlia. I find this dahlia really good. It's called Daisy Duke. It has really strong stems and don't need any staking. Another lovely dahlia is Labyrinth. So this one here is Labyrinth. A nice big head on it. It's really strong stems again. I like this salvia. It is Salvia Aphrodite, and I've just planted 3 or 4 different ones throughout the bed. Also here we have the lovely rose, the Lady Gardener. It's probably one of my favourite roses, and it's underplanted there with the dahlia Thomas Edison. So I decided this year that I would like to introduce a different colour into the bed. So I've introduced the magenta of the Thomas Edison.
But Siobhan, I must say, I always thought I was somebody who loved the stronger colours, but my heart is completely smitten with this vision here behind us. It's like a romance novel, just so light and airy and gorgeous. I mean, what do you think? Look how fairy tale this border is. The small flowers and the pastel colours. You have to give us some tips for what you've grown here.
Well, I must admit, it is my favourite border in the whole garden.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I'm drawn to blues and purples and pale pinks.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some key plants in here now?
Okay. We have, first of all, again, we have dahlias here. I'm still trying to get the right dahlias for this bed. A few of them, this one here is the Wizard of Oz. This is an amazing dahlia, really strong stems. Another one of my favourites is the Lilac Thyme. When I'm looking for dahlias for any of the beds, I try to go for ones that have strong stems that don't need staking. Now, this is another lovely combination. This is Linaria Dial Park with Achillea Lilac.
Linarias are such fantastic plants, aren't they?
They are.
Look
flowers.
at
This has been flowering for weeks and weeks. I actually have that Linaria repeated through the bed.
And did you say you repeat all your plants through the bed here?
Yes. When I'm buying a plant, I normally buy maybe 4 or 5 plants of the same plant and repeat it through the bed. I like that lovely frothy look.
What on earth is that gorgeous?
This is Agapanthus silver moon. It's a variegated variety and it's not very tall. And again, I started with one plant and then I split it into 5 or 6, and I have it repeated along the front of the bed.
Excellent. And do you dig that up in the winter?
No.
You leave it in the ground?
The only plants that I dig up for the winter would be the dahlias.
Wow. Tell us a bit about this section of the garden.
Well, this is, I suppose, the second area that we developed. And this is the garden outside our kitchen window. So I wanted lots of colour here and lots of interest all year round. So in the winter, we have the evergreen shrubs here at the back, and there's rhododendrons, azaleas, camellias, so plenty of colour in the spring. So it continues on then with what we have now, our dahlias, crocosmias, and I plant lots of annuals as well. I set the seed in March, April. This was originally curved borders. So I was looking at a magazine one evening and saw this lovely circular garden in one of the Chelsea gardens. So I decided a circle would look really pretty. So I came out with my bamboos and my thread and started marking out the circle. So that's how the circular garden developed.
I always think a circular lawn looks so good because very often our lawns, they're nothing, you know, they're just what happens to have been left over from when we made the borders. But when you make a circular lawn like this, it's so purposeful. It's a design element, isn't it?
It is, and it gave us more planting space as well. You know, I could have deeper borders and more plants.
We all love that, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, so here we are back again at, I think, what has got to me my absolutely favourite border in Siobhan's beautiful garden, this gorgeous pastel one, ex-football field. Can you believe?
Yes.
Thank you so much for showing us around your fantastic garden, Siobhan, and I will put a link to your website down in the description below on this video. Now, Siobhan only opens 3 times a year?
The first Sunday in July, the first Sunday in August, and the first Sunday in September.
Okay, and also to groups by appointment?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so if you want to contact Siobhan, then you'll need to go to the website where she also publishes the open days each year as well. Yeah. So we can check it out. So thank you so much for showing us around. It's been an absolute pleasure. So much inspiration.
Thanks, Rachel. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Okay. And thanks to all of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this visit to the O'Mahony Garden in Limerick in Southern Ireland, and I hope you'll check back again for lots more gardening fun. Thanks for watching. Bye.